Cavers. Today's Man Cave talk. We're gonna call it a talk. It's brought to you by Tapatio. Enjoy it. Some of you guys like Cholula, but that's for girls. Anyways, we won't even get into that right now. 'Cause we have a lot of bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, we're gonna not talk about John's dresses, even though that's become a hot point in the cave sometimes.
I'm not even gonna touch. I'm not even gonna touch the subject.
I wouldn't touch him either.
I think it was on the contract. We wouldn't talk about John.
All right. As much as we would love to talk about the entire season, we don't have that much time. So what we're gonna talk about is the matchup, the only matchup that matters, which is gonna be Beto versus Noé. We're just gonna take it down, starting from the defense and work our way up. Maybe give our little bit of suggestion, even though we're out of it, so you guys don't have to listen to it. But go ahead, hit the
I mean,
defenses.
come on, we're not that. Anyways, so I'm gonna start off with the Rams defense, which is actually a really good choice. I feel like they've been playing really well.
Yeah.
And this Cali Life's choice versus New York Giants. The Giants, they've been looking all right, but I feel like they're really just relying on Odell Beckham Jr. to do something. Obviously, Eli Manning's throwing to the guy, but if you stop Eli Manning, you're going to stop Odell Beckham Jr.
I completely agree, especially because Odell can do some crazy ass throws, but if you can't get the ball to him, or crazy ass catches, but if you can't throw the ball to him, what are you gonna do? Then you got Ravens versus Houston. It's a good matchup, considering that Houston's kind of out of it, and Ravens have been showing a lot on defense, and then Houston is missing a quarterback. They got Tom Savage, and Savage was limping at the end of the other game. He's a third string. Come on.
Yeah, nothing looks good on that side.
So edge on that one. Who do you got? You got Cali Life or
Yeah, I'm
Tough
going
Weather?
to take Rams for Cali Life.
Okay, I'll take Tough Weather. I like Ravens. I love their defense, and you guys know that.
All right, so kickers, we got Bailey versus Graham. I'm going to talk a little bit about Dallas kicker versus, who do we got? Indiana. Dallas has been making touchdowns. I don't feel like their kicker has to do too much, but he will make some points only after the touchdown kind of status. This game, Indiana might go to the wire where he has to make those 3 points to win the game. So I kind of like how Bailey's upside now.
Looking at it, Shane Graham versus Bailey. Yeah, New Orleans might get 3 touchdowns, but that's gonna be 3 points. I agree. Dan Bailey, he's gonna have some trouble with that Indiana defense. I definitely go with Dan Bailey on that.
Okay, so we're gonna switch to the flex. The flex, a really important position when your top 4 picks don't go too well.
If I could take the helm on this, the flex looks really good on both sides. I mean, Deshaun Jackson, it really depends. Colt McCoy is out with an injury, so it's gonna be RG3. So it really depends if they can connect. They've had some trouble before, but they have connected. So are they going to do it? Will they not? That Philadelphia defense has looked like they could give up a lot of points. But if they're always pass rushing and they're getting to RG3, you know how RG3 scrambles. It's not a good scramble, and he will go down. And then you got Mark Ingram versus Atlanta. That's where I'm putting points out of. I think Beto's going to make a lot of money on that Mark Ingram versus Atlanta. That dude's going to be running. As long as Pierre Thomas isn't stealing catches, that dude is guaranteed a couple touchdowns.
Mark Ingram versus Atlanta is a really, really good choice. Because obviously New Orleans needs to win. They want to win really bad. They have it right here because they're at Atlanta. So they're not at home, so they got a better chance. That's just how it works.
And New Orleans did win 3 on the road in consecutive.
Yeah, so I think Mark Ingram is going to get a lot of points. That being said, I think Deshaun Jackson is going to have a chance too. It's up to the QB, and that's what sucks.
Yeah. Let's go into tight ends. We got Antonio Gates with San Diego versus
Julius Thomas. Junior's tight end. I don't know about it. Julius Thomas, Denver versus Cincinnati. My beef with Julius Thomas is that Philip Rivers or Peyton Manning he's not going to be playing. He doesn't have to. They already got a spot in the playoffs. Why is he going to risk himself? They're going to run. Denver's going to run most of the game, like they've been doing these past 2 weeks.
JT has a lot of opportunities on third downs, considering if they're running. I mean, CJ Henderson has looked really good, and I really think that he's going to be the workhorse, and they might even sign him instead of Monte Ball. But JT is going to have some third down looks, But if he doesn't, I mean, it's not going to be like a huge game. It's not going to be touchdown loads. It's not going to be anything like that.
If anything, he's going to be blocking for CJ.
Yeah, I
to
think
get that open lane.
Yes.
That dude's going to help him out.
And then you look at the other side, you got Antonio Gates. I mean, Phillip Rivers has something to prove. They can't win. They can't really get into it. But Antonio Gates and Phillip Rivers, they're almost like the same person. They know exactly where to catch each other. San Francisco has a really hurt club right now.
Offense, yeah, everything.
Yeah,
they just found out they couldn't make the playoffs. It's tough, dude. So they're not gonna. I mean, they're gonna be playing with heart.
They're gonna lose Jim Harbaugh. Like they're gonna be playing, but they're not gonna be playing very hard. I believe. So I definitely give the edge to Antonio Gates.
Yeah, in San Diego, I go with that too.
Wide receivers, we go just combo them: Julian Edelman and Alshon Jeffries versus Randall Cobb and Calvin Johnson. Really looking at this, I see a wash in between. Actually, as a matter of fact, I see it tipping Tough Weddle. I think Randall Cobb is going to have a good game against Tampa Bay. I mean, Tampa Bay has been good on the line, but not really on the pass. And then Aaron Rodgers wants to get rid of that shitty game he had last week. And they're really on a wild card position right now that if Detroit loses, they go back into the playoff run.
Yeah, so it's going to be really difficult for Green Bay to give up anything or to, like, say, let's let Aaron Rodgers sit anything out.
Yeah.
They're going to play all guns blazing. They really want this spot. You know, they deserve this spot. They've been playing good all season. It's that division super stacked, super tight. That being said, you have Julian Edelman, who's kind of like a in and out kind of player. He's been up and down. I kind of think against the Jets, he's gonna have a good game. I really think that their pass defense, their safeties aren't that great.
They're not, and I agree. But if you really think about it, he's number 3 on that list. You know, they're looking at Gronkowski. Brendan LaFell has been looking really good, and then you got, I mean, Shea Vereen that can even catch. You know, from the backfield. So Edelman is really, he's like a Wes Welker right now. Like, who are these guys?
And New England has never really concentrated on one receiver anyways.
Alshon Jeffries, I feel bad for you, bro, but I mean, Jay Cutler is not doing shit.
Yeah.
Period, point
And
blank.
Detroit's gonna be playing hard as heck. They're not giving anything up.
Yeah. And Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson's gonna be Calvin Johnson. I think they're resting him a little bit. So I don't see 10 points in his future, but you know, maybe a touchdown and
participation
and like 20 yards. Yeah, I don't see a monster game from him.
But you don't need it. You probably won't need it in that situation.
Yeah.
Well,
wide receiver edge, I just give it because I know Aaron Rodgers wants to make up for that shitty game they had, and they want to get in the playoff picture, not in the wild card picture.
yeah, I'll probably sit on Tough Weddle on that one for the wide receivers. We're looking at running backs, which is Justin Forsett, Eddie Lacy for Cali Life, and LaShawn McCoy and Marshall Lynch for Tough Weddle. I like Justin Forsett, Baltimore, against Houston, because Baltimore is going to play hard. And they're running, Justin Forsett's been running really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a week or two that he hasn't. But on top of that, Eddie Lacy and Green Bay, who is super, super sour, and it's super important for them to win this week to get playoff, like get maybe still in the wild card, but get a stretch on everybody else.
Yeah.
Eddie Lacy's been running really well these past few weeks. It's been crazy because he was kind of super dormant in the start of the season, but he's actually coming up right now, where Aaron Rodgers could trust Eddie Lacy to do so much.
Yeah, when Aaron Rodgers, especially with the play action pass or play action run, like Aaron Rodgers trusts Eddie Lacy, and Eddie Lacy has done work, and I definitely agree with Daniel on that one. The only edge I see here is LaShawn McCoy versus Eddie Lacy. You know, I feel like they're almost equals because LaShawn McCoy is running against Washington.
Yeah.
Washington hasn't shown any good defense whatsoever.
Yeah, and Philadelphia is definitely they're super sour about the loss too.
Yeah, and I mean they still have a chance if Dallas loses. Philly can go right back into that spot. So
that's right.
So it's definitely like they're going to be playing their asses off. I feel like Mark Sanchez doesn't want to make a lot of mistakes because he wants to be
considered for next year.
Considered for next year, yeah. So he might run with LaShawn McCoy at least 20 times throughout the game.
20 hands up. Marshawn Lynch, I mean, he'll give you like 10 points. I feel like
the Arizona defense
is not
stingy. It's stingy on the ground. I think if Seattle's gonna do something, they have to do it midfield. Yeah, like midfield and the air.
Or Russell Wilson.
or Russell Wilson running his ass off
Play
when he
action.
sees that zone cover, the zone combo where it's like man and zone, like that's where Russell can actually run out.
And that would make Lynch be a blocker.
Yeah.
Which helps Russell.
Yeah.
But so I don't think Marshawn Lynch. I'm gonna take Cali Life on the running backs. I think he'll have a better altogether.
Running backs, I have to go with Tafuero just because of LaShawn McCoy. And like I said, I don't think Sanchez wants a bad look. He wants that win on his record and that chance to be in the playoffs. I mean, all they got to do is Dallas lose and they win. So it's going to be interesting.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the big thing. QBs. Big Ben versus Andrew Luck. He's been struck by lightning once, so it's never gonna happen again. I feel like this week he's gonna have a tough week against Dallas. Indiana versus Dallas. They played really well against Philadelphia last week, and that's the big thing is that they're kind of in momentum.
I feel similar, except the thing with that I like about that matchup is that Andrew Luck is actually good, and their defense is good. So I feel like even though like Philly gave him a lot of points, Philly came back. So I think Andrew Luck is going to throw for 2 touchdowns, and then they're going to rest him because
Yeah, you got to remember they're already.
yeah, they're going to be so far ahead at that point.
They're already
And
up
Dallas, even though they're an all-right team, they haven't. Tony Romo is still kind of hurt. Hit that motherfucker 3 times, and that fool's done.
You got to get to him.
When you're looking at
Ben Roethlisberger is going to be playing really hard.
Big Ben has to play hard.
They have to.
Yeah.
There's nothing that.
But the big problem with the Steelers is that do they want it? You know, like that's what we've been looking
Every
at all
season.
year.
Yeah.
Like seasons since
Every year.
they won the Super Bowl. Do
Against
they want it?
Arizona, yeah.
Does he want it? You know, and then he has a pretty decent matchup against Kansas City, but Kansas City has been a tough ass
They've
defense
been really
to play
tough,
against,
yeah.
and they're super stingy. And if Roethlisberger isn't connecting with his guys, I mean, yeah, they could give it to Le'Veon Bell, but Kansas City's good against the rush game. Me also, so
Yeah, he's gonna definitely have to throw it and throw it really well.
yeah.
And he has to keep his composure. If his pocket stays tight, that dude has an arm and he could hit to anybody.
True.
His pocket has to stay tight. They gotta defend that guy, and he'll probably take it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Ben Roethlisberger about 26 points.
I'm definitely going with Luck. Not a points-wise thing, but I think they're gonna get 2 touchdowns in the win, and that's easy. Looking at the benches, the player that I like that I know is out is LeGarrette Blount, and honestly, he's been running like crazy. Shane Vereen doesn't have shit to do with it. Jonas Gray doesn't have shit to do with it. They've been loving LeGarrette Blount. He's gonna get goal line work. He's gonna get yardage work. So I really like LeGarrette Blount for that.
Yeah, and that's a good option for Noe. We're looking at Delaney Walker from Tennessee, and if it's worth a double take for because of what we said about Denver,
Especially
that
with
they
tight
already
ends.
took in. Yeah, and Delaney Walker actually he makes yardage. Maybe he's just missing that 1 touchdown, but he makes yardage. So
And you're looking at a good matchup against a Jacksonville because Tennessee doesn't have the best quarterback. I mean, they're sitting on Mettenberger, whatever the fuck his name is. But as soon as Jacksonville comes in to pressure him, he has to get that ball out quick. And he's not going to be looking at Kemba Tompkins or Nate Washington unless he has good pocket coverage. He's going to be like, damn, check down or tight end. And since they don't really have a good check down, they have Bishop Sankey, which sucks. You can ask Frankie. He held him for like 18 weeks. It sucks. So it's going to be Delaney Walker,
Yeah.
touchdown Delaney Walker.
And if you look at his track record, he's been doing really.
Yeah.
He's in and out, but he's been doing really good against teams that aren't that great.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville is not one of the best teams in the league this season.
Yeah.
So that's what worth the second look.
Yeah, I mean that's just us speculating. We obviously fucking suck enough to not be part of it, but we really good luck to both of you guys. I definitely want to do a Super Bowl at one or the other, either if it's in Arizona, California. The only other thing I want to mention is my punishments. I know that I have a slap and a couple shots to pay. I would like to take this time to say that I want to pay those during the Super Bowl, whether it's in Arizona or California. Whoever the champion is gets that slap from me. I mean, slap the shit out of me, and then I'll pay my shots there. Other than that, there is a new something new that came up onto my table. I was talking to I'm sure Junior's part of the Cape, so he could tell you guys. I was talking to Junior, and he said that he would like to be part of next season. I know that he owes, and he is making a trip to Arizona, so we have the opportunity to make him pay up everything he owes, and then he could be a part of it again. The only reason that this makes any sense is because even though Master Debater has been a very good manager, and he has been very good about managing his team and taking care of business when it has to be, we cannot punish him the way that we need to punish him. So I want you guys to think about that, and we'll talk about it. We'll post it on the cave. And Junior already agreed to pay the punishments and make sure that he wants to be part of it next season. So you guys take care of yourselves, and we will see you in Super Bowl, bitches.